Alright, so we're here at Gold's Gym Venice with NPC IFBB President, Mr. Jim Manion. It's always a great pleasure to see you. I was at your show a few weeks ago, and it's good to see you in sunny California.
Yeah, I'm out here for the Cal tomorrow. Got the California Amateur and the California Pro. Beautiful weather. I want everybody moves here. All these guys, you were here for a while.
Yeah, we're East Coast guys, but I'm actually came out to support the show, and of course, a lot of big things happening this year. I think, this year I've seen these contests continue to grow on the NPC, IFBB side. There's so many shows. I remember back in the day when I was competing, it was very limited what we could actually do to qualify. Of course, the qualifications were a lot different. But, this expansion now internationally, you guys are kept super busy, but you guys are doing tremendous things to really help continue to publicize and educate people a lot deeper than it's ever been done. And I think that's why we've accepted the digital side. So maybe talk about what's going on. I know you're talking about the show this weekend, but it seems like every week you're at different events.
Yeah, we have so many events. This weekend I think we have four or five big shows going on, all over the place. But as you said, social media. Me as an old-time guy, the social media I never thought was important. Now, that everybody lives by it. We get the word out there. You hold up the guy's hand at 10 o'clock, 5 after 10, it's all around the world. It used to take 3 months with Joe's magazines, so now it's a changed time.
Yeah, and it's just, but you guys are doing a lot more educational things. Like, I know I've been involved in a lot of these workshops and really getting people aware of, okay, this is the judging criteria. And we've had so many new divisions now with the men's side and the women's side. Now moving into even the wellness that was just announced. But the classic physique, men's physique, women's bikini, the expansion's been so big, but bodybuilding is still relevant, okay? And you're seeing so many new competitors now, but so many pro cards given out. That's what kind of the international side has opened up a lot more pro cards and opportunity for these guys to compete overseas that can come over to the States. We see a lot of Europeans now coming to competing this weekend.
Sure.
It's continuing to grow.
That's what's great about it. I ran into a couple of them here, and they're so happy to be able to now get their pro cards, be able to come here and compete all over the world. Before, there weren't as many pro cards given out. Yeah, we give out a lot of pro cards, but I think it's a great opportunity because there's so much talent out there that was never able to get a pro card, never able to come to the States, maybe get to the Olympia, get to the Arnold, whatever. But I think it's great, and we're going to see some dangerous guys on the Olympia stage this year, especially in the classic physique, men's physique, and things like that.
It seems like it's harder to get qualification, though. I remember when I was competing in 2000, I got 8th. I qualified, the top 10 brought me back to the Olympia. Now it's limited, right? last year, the top 5 get to come back and compete,
exactly.
Right?
There's someone like Rami, he's not qualified.
He's not qualified,
so
he's sitting outside.
Yeah, so I don't know if he's competing, someone said he's injured, I'm not sure. But I think it's good. I think it's good because then these guys have to go and do smaller shows like the California Championships or New York Pro, something like that. So it helps the other promoters and helps the people to see the champions, come up.
Because it's a point system, and are you expanding on the point system? How is that going to advance? Are you just going to continue to, just allow these guys to compete over and over and over and make that decision, okay, who has the most points?
Yeah, well, not all divisions are working like that. The ones where we have a lot of shows like men's physique, like that, but men's bodybuilding, right now, if you win, you're in. So if you win, whoever wins this weekend is going to go to the Olympias. And it's turned out great, and I think the Olympia is going to be, it's very exciting this year. Let's get serious. Sean won last year. I thought Sean should have won. He deserved to win, but I think it's a wide open show.
There's a lot of contenders for that title. It's like, you come here, you see Dexter Jackson training, right? You see Sean Roden all in the same house, which is, it's not really the case when you have, the Gold's Venice isn't really the hotbed where Mr. Olympia is actually trained.
Right.
Sean's like the first guy that's carried the title that actually trained out of here. So it's pretty cool to see that, but there's so many, the New York Pro just happened. Juan Morel won his second pro show. Looked amazing, but there's a lot of guys knocking at the door. But the Olympia's hyping up. Obviously I've been kind of selected as the ambassador to be, the guy there to kind of help facilitate, what's kind of happening. And that's exciting for me, of course, being in Las Vegas. But the amazing thing is, I was saying to Dave, I haven't won the Mr. Olympia in 9 years, which is crazy to me.
Yeah.
It seems like it's just yesterday.
Well, that's how I feel. Time just flies. I ran into Tito today. Tito Raymond showed me a picture from 25 years ago. Me and him together. But I think the Olympia is going to be so exciting. And also, I think the amateur Olympia. I want to encourage all the NPC members out there. get into the Amateur Olympia in Vegas. It's right here. So I'm thinking we were able to grow that this year, and they're going to have more exciting things going on at the Expo. So with you as an ambassador, and we're going to have a whole new team working.
Well, I want Tyler, come step in here for a second. I want to get you in here. So you've been traveling around the world. You've now I know you traveled so much in the beginning to build this thing, and now you're traveling all these foreign countries. You're leading all these judges and, you know, promoting these shows that are now trying to learn the process, and you're the head judge of a lot of your shows. What's the transition been like from being like around it now to being like head judge at all these events and being, you know, such a, you know, a lead person in this?
No, it's been awesome. I mean, it's an honor, honestly. I mean, like we said before the camera started rolling, my first Mr. Olympia was actually when he came back and won 10 years ago.
The best one, 2009.
It was pretty crazy, I remember.
That was a good year, Jim. You're right.
But,
Great year.
But yeah, I mean, it's just been awesome. And going overseas, I know before things were done differently overseas, so we're trying to bring how, you know, we do stuff in the NPC, we're trying to bring that overseas. And I know the first year that we did it, which was last year, you know, some growing pains and stuff, but the show went pretty well. And then, you know, it's just really catching on over there, and a lot of athletes are appreciative, and it just gives athletes a bigger platform, you know, to market themselves and just grow their own fan base, you know, through our organizations, which I think is like the main thing. You know, give athletes a fair shot and help them grow. Honestly, I mean, when they grow, we grow. So that's how I look at it.
It's just a lot. I mean, I've sat and watched shows, and I've tried to learn, like, okay, how is this? I mean, everyone looks great, right? So
yeah.
Sometimes it's like splitting hairs on making a decision, right? And not everyone agrees, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, how do you guys handle that where it's like it's so close, and, you know, the judging, I mean, you're rejudging shows sometimes in the evening, right? I mean, a lot of these shows people consider, oh, the judging's done at prejudging, but it's not always the case now, right?
No, that's
they're
correct.
They're rejudged at night. I mean, they're judging posing routines a lot, and presentation's a big key, right?
Yeah, so I mean, how you'd say, I mean, as a judge, I mean, as long as I can justify what I saw, I mean, that's how I know I think it was done right. So, I mean, whatever show I'm at, if someone wants to come up and ask me, oh, why did this happen? I'm happy to tell them exactly what I saw. They may not agree with it, but I mean, that's what I saw. And also, I just want to put it out there that when you're a judge, it's a panel of, you know, 4 to 6 other people that are with you. So your scores aren't exactly what, it doesn't matter if I'm the head judge or not, aren't exactly the same as what was on stage. So it's a whole panel of judges. Whichever judge is on the panel, you should be able to go up to them and ask, why did this happen? And you know, you should be able to explain it. And I'm happy to do that in any show with anybody. So that's how it is. But presentation, like you said, presentation is key. I mean, people lose shows by not presenting the right way.
And everyone always asks me, what is my best suggestion? What's the advice of a former Olympia champion, like being up there? Presentation is key. I don't think people put enough effort into their presentation, not only posing on stage, but how they present themselves, walking out, their facial expressions, how they're really just showcasing everything, right? It goes all the way, right?
No, it goes all the way. I mean, it's as simple as, I mean, especially for the men, you know, you got to keep that core tight the whole entire time you're on stage. It doesn't matter if you're standing on the side or if you're right in front of us. I mean, every little thing matters, especially when you're splitting hairs. When all you, like, I mean, these competitors look great nowadays. I mean,
There's
it's
a
really,
lot of close shows.
You're really splitting hairs in every single division.
See,
So
Tyler's now been head judging. I'm used to hearing all the complaints, and you know, no one's ever happy, you know, except the winner. So sometimes you have to learn.
I've been there. I wasn't happy when I was second.
Of course you weren't. You shouldn't be. You shouldn't be. But it's not the judges' fault all the time. But you have to get used to hearing people complain. I've got a tough skin. They complain. I've been complaining for years. But as long as you can justify why you think the person should have won. We just had a recent show. People were saying this guy should have won, that guy. But when you're there actually judging, it's easy to look at it on whether you're watching it on video or whether you're watching
totally
live
different.
stream. It's totally different. You know.
I can tell you that. I mean, I went to the '95 Olympia. I remember seeing pictures of Dorian Yates. I'm like, man, I thought Paul DeLette or like Nasser or somebody were better. And when Dorian came out in '95, he walked out and I said, show's over. And I wasn't a huge fan of, honestly, from the magazines. I thought, man, he's missing arms or his legs aren't as big as these other guys. But when he walked out, the show was done. Like, it was over.
Yeah.
So that's the difference. Like, so people that stay at home and they judge these shows or from the internet, it's not the same unless you're there in real life. I mean, I always think I look better in real life than what I actually look like in pictures or, you know, even video as much as it was back then.
Everybody has their fan favorites, so naturally they think their friend, their
We
whoever
love
they
that.
admire.
We love the
that's
fan
good. That's good for
favorites.
fans. We love that when they have fan favorites. So it's like, you know, it's good. So they're obviously going to think their guy should have beat the other guy, but that's all part of the sport, you know.
Well, listen, congratulations on all the success. Hopefully we'll get to run into you guys one more time before the Olympia, but you know, everyone's shooting for one goal, and that's to stand on the Olympia stage, which is the Super Bowl of professional bodybuilding, and we'll see who ends up there in September.
And all you amateur, the NPC amateurs out there, come out to the Amateur Olympia. 3 pro cards, each division. Go get it.
All right. We'll see you guys next time.